My name is Rukky Ayi. I'm a student from Nigeria studying film and video production here in London. In some ways, our two cultures and the social problems facing them are very similar. Back home in Nigeria, we too have crime problems: murders, mugging, armed robbery, drugs, and disenfranchised youth. But the one big difference, and the one that surprised me the most since I've been here, is the lack of respect the young people here have for the old, which I find amazing when you consider how much the young people in the UK have got. In Nigeria, the children don't have mobile phones, PlayStations, iPod, and designer clothes, yet there is respect there. As my film project, I decided to see if I could find an answer.
You asked me a question about young people and respect. I find that the young people that I work with, they have come from broken homes. They have come from parents who abuse alcohol, who are drug addicts, who are violent in the home. And these young people are damaged young people. Within my job, I find that we're having a few young people that are coming up pregnant, and the reasons behind them actually being pregnant is because they're on the streets too young. They go out on the streets, they're mixing with the boys, they're doing things that they're not supposed to be doing, and then they end up pregnant. Lots of them come out of broken homes, lots of them come out of deprived homes, lots of them come out from abusive parents, and they don't understand anything about love. Without love and being nurtured, you cannot give nurturing and love if you haven't received it. So therefore, some young people think that by having a child, it's going to take them out of the situation that they're in, and they're going to be able to pour all their love into this young person, into this young being, into this baby. And what happens to them is that when they actually have these babies, reality kicks in, and then they realise they can't go out with their mates, they can't do anything, money is limited, their mothers and fathers don't want to help them, and they're left stranded. There is also an ideology that when they get pregnant, they're going to get a home, a flat, and they'll be happy ever after because they're going to love this child's going to love them, and all the rest of it. And that is not the case, because when young people have children, they have to give these children love in order for them to grow up into balanced human beings, because they haven't received it and they have been ridiculed in one way or the other. They feel that by having these children, they're able to pour their love into these children, and therefore they won't be like their parents. But what they actually are ending up doing is repeating the same cycle again.
I grew up with my mum, like I didn't know my dad, so a lot of the times I always used to like ask my mum, where's daddy when she's coming home and stuff like that, because like at school when she used to pick me up, all my friends used to have their mum and their dad come to pick them up. I never used to have my dad at my side there, so I never really knew anything about him. I didn't really care. So I grew up, so my brothers were, to me, were like my fathers, and at the time like, my brothers were doing like a lot of stuff. A couple of my brothers in and out of jail and stuff like that. So it was like really messed up. So my mum always shout saying she doesn't want me to follow the life that my brother's doing and stuff, like she doesn't want me to be like that. Somehow just things started going like that. I started to follow my brother, hanging out with the older boys around the area and stuff like that. Then my brother went in jail, so I was there by myself, so I had to like kind of make my own friends and stuff like that. So there was a kind of like an older crew around there called the PDC, stuff like that. So I started to make my friends and that. So I started to go about, and that we used to do like a lot of mad stuff, robbing people just to make a bit of money, because like those times that the house was like kind of poor. Mummy didn't really have money to give me to go shop like that, so we had to find our own ways to make money. So we used to rob people, do anything, anyhow we could make money. So to make money, we had to do anything just to make money, so we can buy all the new chains and stuff like that. My mum didn't have money there to give me, so that's how it was. Then I nearly could have went jail for my own self at this young age. I could have went jail, but it was kind of, man, it was like a rough time. Mummy always telling me, my mum always used to tell me that she doesn't know why I'm going into this life, and that she told me from when I was young she didn't want me to be like this. So she used to say I was a bit stubborn and stuff like that. And at the age of 13, that's like the first time I ever saw a gun. That's when like a lot of people started dying, like close friends, like even people my age were dying at those times. One of like my best friend called Aaron, he died. He got shot, and he was young, but he wasn't really even a bad person, but it's because of like his brother, the life that his older brother lived. And when my mum heard that, that's what she even sat down and told me, look how your older brother's living, and you want to go and join that type of life, you could end up like your best friend.
I think there's a difference. Go back to having a mum and dad around. Yes, I did have mum and I did have dad around. Now I can go back to my situation with my children. Dad was around probably for the first 2 years of their life, and then there was separation. Dad was always in the picture for my children, but it was me who brought up my children. So at the end of the day, I played mum and I played dad. Now, my children are not angels, but at the end of the day, they know respect. They know that they cannot go out there and disrespect an adult. They know that what I have installed in them, they take it out the street. Now, I have so many people come to me and say, your son is so manageable. There's not a time that he sees me, doesn't stop and he says hello. He's more like what we were like. When we saw our parents, friends, it was, hello, Miss Jones, how are you? When we're doing something wrong, you automatically stop you just concentrate because you've seen one of your mum's friends. That's my children. So it's down to us as parents. It will always come back to parents.
Parents don't really know how to bring up their children. Some parents don't know how to bring up their children. They don't know how to discipline them. They don't know how to get the best out of them because they never actually had it themselves. So if you've never had something, you can't give it.
Like basically, I lived in a rough town, and like I always grew up in like fighting and violence with my mum and dad, always shouting, so, and like beating up each other and police coming to the house and stuff like that. So I saw a lot at a young age. So I thought I can take like my anger out on the roads, go to the street and do stuff like that as well. And like that's how I grew up in the gang life and gang street as well.
Some say the problem is lack of parental skills, and others say no role models. To me, it's all about choice. Having nothing is not an excuse to be disrespectful. So I decided to speak to some religious leaders.
We have many programs organized in our center. In monthly we have youth programs, and we have asked youth and children to come to the temple, and we organize special lectures or talk in related to their young children's life. And also that we have Sunday school, we have here Saturday school. By these Sunday and Saturday schools, they learn about their traditions, their customs and good qualities, and they learn the religion. So by learning these things that they can do very well.
What the government is trying to provide solution as to bringing back the family culture, bringing back the ability of the parents to take control of their children. Recently, Crime Watch has been phoning around churches, calling on pastors on how to tackle gun crime in all the societies in the whole of London. And that is based on the fact that they know that the people that can deal with the children successfully are the parents. One child that is well cultured in a proper manner will change the situation in the whole of the nation. If every child is well cultured, definitely crime will be away from the society.
The young people of today are the leaders of tomorrow. I think now is the time to solve these problems. A time for a change, for a better tomorrow and a better future.
If I was to have the opportunity, yes, if I would invest more heavily in young people. I would invest more heavily in those people who have the ability to mentor, guide and correct young people while they're still in the community, while they're still young, and therefore avoid this disrespectful behaviour, avoid the unlawful behaviour, avoid the need to arrest these people and to prevent their being victims of serious crime caused by young people. So I would identify those people that can, support them financially, increase the facilities available to young people, increase the training and the funding for good youth outreach workers, and let's get these young people occupied and let's get young people achieving what they can achieve rather than hanging about on street corners and becoming prey to criminal gangs. And that's what I would do, invest heavily in young people and the infrastructure around young people to make sure that they become decent citizens.
And one thing you really have to understand as well, a lot of people will ask a lot of questions about what's happening in society. We are under a spiritual warfare. We are under attack, and it's under our young people that are being attacked. And this is where we have to bring God back into it, because our children are having children. They're not bringing up their children right, so they're wild. They are wild. It's like having a cat and having a cat having a baby in a home. When they have that baby at home, that cat is called tamed. When you have a wild cat, and the cat is having babies out in the wild, you call that a wild cat. Now you can change that with children. Children are having children. They're not having children at home. They're having them out. So therefore their children are growing up wild, because they haven't got that understanding of what is parenthood. They have children because they need flats, they need benefits. So they go and have children so that they can dress them up in mahami and mamami and the rest of the blings, designer babies. But there's the spiritual warfare out there, and it's attacking our children. And we as parents, we need to continue to pray for our children, cover them. And you can't fight the natural with the spirit. And that's why society don't know what to do with this gun shoot and the killings between our young people. You cannot fight natural with spirit. You have to fight spirit with spirit.
We have had many solutions to the problem with our young people. I realize these problems are not easy to solve, but I want to leave you with these thoughts.